afternoon, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of Sports Memo's Pro Football Forecast as we head into the final weeks of the regular season. So grab your helmet, lace up your cleats, get ready to make some money in the NFL this weekend. We have an amazing show for you. What a great panel and all-star cast. Let's bring them on. Let me go around the horn, guys. Jeff Michaels, Moneyline Matt, Ross Benjamin. Let me do some individual hellos. By the way, guys, this looks like the original boy band 98 Degrees back in the day. Jeff Michaels, how are you today, buddy?
Good. I can't complain. Hey, this is a good way to kick it off. My first time here on the show, so some laughs and some free winners is always a good combo.
Well, there's always, in every aging boy band, there's always one guy with no hair that hides it, that wears sunglasses. There's always the guy that still looks like, that's Moneyline Matt, still looks like he's 17. There's the other guy who still looks like he could be younger but older than Jeff. And then there's the leader of the band, that's Ross. I'll tell you right now, this could be, and my friend Jeff Timmons is in 98 Degrees. He's going to get a big kick out of it. He watches the show. Moneyline Matt, how are you today?
Hey, great. Good to be here on the show, as always, breaking down some games. We were red hot, 16-1-1 over the past 2 weeks. NFL picks. Lost it yesterday with Seattle. Sadly had them. They tricked me, Joe. You know I love my 49ers. I don't know why I doubted them. Now I'm just looking to get back in the winning ways with you guys.
So you're saying you're on a 16-1-1 run and you dropped another game. So your horrible record went down to 16-2-1. Is that what I'm to understand?
It did. It actually felt horrible. I hadn't lost in so long. It felt brutal.
Well, I'll tell you what. I hope you don't get that feeling for a very long time again. I want to go to my good friend Ross Benjamin. Ross, how are you today?
I'm great, man. Good thing we got a couple young guys with us. It makes us look much better, Joe. I could tell.
Yeah, but you look younger than me, and I'm with these two young guys. I look like the old man.
You look fine, buddy. You look fine. We just can't influence these guys how we grew up. I'm glad they're growing up the way they are, you know,
all I will
as
say
young
is
men.
this.
So
Ross,
I won't go into further detail on that either.
I will tell you this, Russ. If we went on a reunion tour, I would have to take the stage in a walker. That's all I'm saying. Sports fans, we've got a great show, couple of quickies, and you know how I like an afternoon quickie. Every successful sports bettor and sports handicapper I know use the Gold Sheet, the oldest and the most respected of all the betting publications. After the show, www.goldsheet.com. Use what the pros use. Now, guys, I say it every show because it's true. The customer appreciation you receive from Sports Memo is unrivaled in this business. We've got a couple of great things we'd like to tell you about. But first, guys, just every day, go over to www.sportsmemo.com. Go check out the deals page. Even us as cappers, sometimes we don't know we have a special on the deals page. Go over there each and every day. I'm telling you right now, you're going to find a capper that's tailor-made for you, but you're going to find amazing deals. Couple of such deals, guys. We're in bowl season. Only a few more days, I believe, remaining on this special. I'll double-check that before the end of the show. College Football Bowl, all access, just $149 for as many cappers as you'd like over at Sports Memo. Guys, this is a great way to ensure yourself a winning bowl campaign. Follow Matt, Ross, Jeff, even Joey D, any of the other cappers over at Sports Memo. You can't go wrong for $149. Whether you bet $15 a game or $15,000 a game, this will pay for itself in no time. And the great folks over at Sports Memo gave us the Lovers special. I'm going to tell you about it. Joe and Dion D'Amico, the history of this business, there's never been a husband and wife team. She's kicking butt on 5 sport leaderboards. I'm on 4. Guys, we have a discount. Follow Joe and Dion, both of us. Just $99, and you'll have the best December you ever had, straight through the 31st of the month. Now, having said all that, guys, before we get into free plays, and we've got 3 roundtable games in our best bet segment, I've got a couple of pro football line moves from my good friends over at my favorite sports book on the planet, the Superbook at the Westgate here in Vegas. Now, we talk every week how the general public, weather, and injuries all play a part in line moves. These 2 games were moved by the wise guys, the sharp money's, the guys in the know, so to speak. We wanted to make you aware of them. Only 2 guys, nothing big either. The Saints from 3.5 up to 4. The wise guys like New Orleans, and the Broncos from 2.5 up to 3. The sharp money is on Denver. So once again, just 2 smart money plays this weekend in the NFL, the Saints and the Broncos. Having said that, guys, 3 round table games. If you've missed any aspect of our show, don't worry. I'll run through all the round table predictions from our great cappers at the end of round 3, and then we got our best bet segment. So without any further ado, guys, our first round table game is a doozy. Buffalo owns a 2-game lead over Miami in the AFC East. Dolphins took the September 25th meeting 21-19, but have dropped the last 2, both straight up and against the number. And guys, They don't do too well in Orchard Park. 2-7-1 ATS the last 10 meetings over there. However, the Bills tend to get overvalued, especially lately. Just 2 of their last 7 they've covered coming into Saturday's division rivalry. We're talking Dolphins-Bills. Saturday, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Buffalo, 7-44. Let's go to Moneyline Matt. Moneyline Matt, the floor is yours.
All right, Joe, let's go. So the Miami Dolphins travel on the road to face off against the Buffalo Bills, and this is a Miami team where I personally feel like they are in a tough spot. You know, they've been traveling the past couple weeks, going from San Francisco back home to Miami, going back to Los Angeles once again, and now to Buffalo. So 3 games in a row. They're the away dog, and I shouldn't say dog, but they're the away team. And in this spot, they are the dog, though, you know, and I understand why. This is a Miami Dolphins team that is 1-5-1 against the spread as the away team this year. And now they're traveling to Buffalo, okay? And this is a Buffalo Bills team who has now won 4 games in a row. And to me, I gotta imagine this Buffalo Bills team has revenge on their mind, and there's no better spot to do it than in front of their home crowd in Buffalo. In their last game that the Buffalo Bills lost to the Dolphins, they outgained the Dolphins 495 yards to 212. And absolutely just a huge difference there. And for me, when looking at this Miami Dolphins team, not once have they played in cold weather this year. Yes, they played in Chicago, but that was like 5-6 weeks ago. So not nearly as cold as it is now. And it's just Buffalo's different. You know what I mean? You get that lake effect weather. There could be snow, some wind, things of that nature. And I just don't believe this Dolphins team is built for any cold outdoor stadium or any bad weather whatsoever. They have a very limited run game. And at this point in time, Tua just doesn't have a ton of zip on his balls. Like when he's throwing that football, it doesn't look good. It's not a tight spiral. It's not one that's going to cut through the wind like that. So it's very tough for me to see this Miami Dolphins team going to Buffalo. And I know it's a 7-point spread. That's a pretty good amount. But it's tough for me to see this Dolphins team covering that +7 spread in Buffalo. When I look at this Bills team, on the other hand, I do think they're more so built for this, you know, for some negative weather, or if it snows, wind, things like that, because a quarterback like Josh Allen can do 2 things. You know, this Buffalo Bills team has that power run package with Josh Allen, the QB power. And when you do that, you know, Josh Allen is a very big quarterback. He's a big runner. He's someone who can fall forward, pick up extra yards. And then in addition to that, he has the arm strength to, you know, penetrate through wind and make those deep throws despite bad weather, things of that nature. So for me, I really do like the look of this Buffalo Bills team with the -7. I think they have revenge on their mind. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this was a double-digit win for the Buffalo Bills. So I'm backing the Bills in this spot.
Our good friend Moneyline Matt says Bills all the way. He said weather and revenge will play a factor. Great breakdown, great analysis, Matt, what we've come to expect from you. Guys, I'm going to go to a buddy of mine who knows a lot about revenge because he's Sicilian just like me. Ross, you like that? Ross Benjamin, give us your – got to have fun, guys. Ross Benjamin, give us your take. Dolphins, Bills, Buffalo, 7-44. Take it away, my friend.
Well, you know what? I like Matt Guitar Murphy before. I like him even more now because brilliant minds think alike. Look. Here's the thing. Miami played in Los Angeles last week. It's an open-door stadium. It was unseasonably cold in Los Angeles. It was 53 degrees, Joe. Guess what? They had electric heaters on the sideline. They needed electric heaters in 53-degree weather. Now they're going to be playing game time temperatures predicted 22 degrees. Going to be a snowstorm on Saturday night in Orchard Park. That's been well publicized here in Western New York. So we'll start with that. All right. So I think, as Matt alluded to, they haven't played a cold weather game all year, meaning Miami. And this isn't only a cold weather game. It's a cold weather in elements to deal with, like wind and snow to boot. And yes, Josh Allen has played in this weather before. And yes, Miami has not looked very good the last 2 games, Joe. And Buffalo catches a lot of heat this year because they were a hype team. And as soon as they lost a couple games, everybody fell off the bandwagon and broke some ankles. Well, you know what? They're 9-3. Their 3 losses came by a combined 8 points, including the game that Matt just alluded to. The loss to Miami 21-19, where they outgained them by 285 yards in that contest, were lined up for a game-winning field goal, and the clock ran out on them. So, again, revenge comes into play. That snapped a 7-game Buffalo win streak over Miami, but the Bills still are 5-0 in their last 5 at home against the Dolphins, and they won those 5 games by an average of 17.6 points per contest. Buffalo also comes in on a 4-game win streak. Miami, on the other hand, the last 2 games, both losses, as we touched upon. And what's even more alarming is that dynamic, explosive offense that we've seen for the majority of the season. They only gained 308 and 219 yards in their last 2 games. Buffalo's coming off a 20-12 home win versus the Jets. They're 6-0 straight up and 5-1 against the spread since 2020 at home when coming off a home win, and they win by 19 points per game. And, Joe, you mentioned a 2-game lead over Miami, and that's so. But they have a little wiggle room, right? If they lose this game and win out, they still win the division. But that's not their concern. Their concern is getting over the hurdle of beating Kansas City in the playoffs, who they lost to the last 2 years, and a major detriment in those losses where they had to play on the road. Well, right now they hold the number 1 seed in the AFC. They're both 10-3, meaning Buffalo and Kansas City. Buffalo has a tiebreaker because they beat Kansas City during the regular season. However, Buffalo could ill afford a loss down the stretch. Why do I say that? Because Kansas City, in their last 4 games this year, is playing the least difficult schedule in the NFL, number 32 overall out of 32 teams. So I just think urgency and desperation comes into play here, and the weather elements and the revenge factor, and I like Buffalo here. Latest 7 over Miami. They win this game by 2 touchdowns or more, Joe.
Great stuff from Ross Benjamin, an icon in the sports betting industry. He says revenge is a dish best served cold, and it's going to be very cold up in Orchard Park. Take the Bills. Great minds think alike. Matt and Ross both say the Bills. Guys, don't go anywhere. 2 more roundtable games. Then our best bet segment. Going to have a lot of fun, but give you some great free content. Our second roundtable game. Winners of 5 in a row, both straight up and against the number. The 9-4 Bengals face who? The GOAT, Tom Brady, and a Bucs team. But guys, Bucs only 3 wins since early October, just 1 cover since mid-September. PU. Bengals at Bucs Sunday, 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cincinnati 3.5, 45. Go to my good buddy Jeff Michaels. Jeff, take it away.
Tom Brady has to be looking forward to playing another Ohio team, I guess, right? But funny, these teams, really the tale of 2 teams, polar opposites when you look at the year. Cincinnati, we all know it. We watched them the first 2 weeks, watched them kick it off with back-to-back straight up and ATS losses. And now they've won 9 out of their last 11 games straight up, including 5 straight since that actually lost to Cleveland on Halloween. But Cincinnati's covered 10 out of their last 11 games as well. And then you got a Tampa Bay team who started the year 2-0 straight up and ATS. Now they're 4-7 straight up since. And over that stretch, Joe, you alluded to it, 9-1 against the spread in the last 11 weeks. That's going back to that mid-September cover date that Joe gave you and a little beyond. But Tampa has allowed 70% completion over the last 2 weeks. And that's going against teams like New Orleans and then San Francisco. But if I'm not mistaken, that was San Francisco's first game with Purdy. And even their rushing game got exposed in that one. San Fran rushed for 209 yards and nearly 6 yards per carry. And this Tampa Bay offense has only rushed for 100 yards 1 time this season, and they're averaging 63 yards in the rushing game at home. Cincinnati's played, pretty well offensively, especially in this passing game when you exclude last week. But they still pulled out that win against Cleveland last week with basically a Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins that were non-existent. I mean, they were out there for a minute, but they didn't do much of anything, if anything at all. And they are questionable for this game too. But like I mentioned, they got it done in that game as well. And I like Cincinnati to cover this one. The Bucs haven't covered a home game in their last 7 attempts dating back to last year. Bengals 14-4 against the spread in their last 18 road games. So Cincinnati minus that 3.5 is where I'm looking on Sunday.
Great stuff from Jeff Michaels. And guys, I talk about Jeff a lot because he does a lot of work on Sportsmemo and Wager Talk TV because he does great work. As you can see, great breakdown. Jeff, I want to ask you, and I'll put you on the spot. Does the 3.5 bother you at all? Do you advise any of our viewers to buy it down to err on the side of caution, or it's not going to bother? It's not going to play a factor.
No, I don't think it'll play a factor because, to be honest, I don't see Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins playing. I think one of them might, but at this point, we're sitting at questionable. So, I mean, I'm not opposed to buying it to the 3, but I think we're on the verge of potentially heading the other direction. So I'd probably be jumping on it now before anybody gets officially ruled out for Cincy.
Great stuff. Great betting insights from Jeff Michaels. We're going to go to our good friend Moneyline Matt. Matt, this is an interesting matchup. Bengals, Bucs, Cincinnati, 3.5, 45. Take it away, Matt.
Yeah, honestly, for me, like even when looking at this game, it does remind me a lot of that game last night. You know what I mean? Exact same spread, good team coming in against a team that really needs a win. And it's tough for me to decide which way to go here because, you know, this is a Cincinnati Bengals team that, like you guys said, is 9-4 on the season, traveling on the road to face off against the Tampa Bay Bucs in Tampa, which is a nice place to play. It's nice and warm out there. You know, Cincinnati will like that. They'll be able to use some of their weapons. Their defense has been playing real solid. And then you got the Tampa Bay Bucs, who are 6-7 on the season, coming off an absolutely embarrassing loss to the San Francisco 49ers, which they were in a spot where they definitely could have used a win there and just got absolutely spanked. So it's really tough to back a team when they're coming off something like that. You know, this is a Bucs team on top of that is 0-5-1 against the spread as the home team and is also 0-1 against the spread as the underdog. You know, and then you look at the Cincinnati Bengals and they've been covering these spots. You know, they're 5-2 against the spread as the away team, 7-3 as the favorite. So, yeah, all signs definitely point to Cincinnati here. And I will say this right now, this is definitely not a game that will be on my card. I do not want to touch this game. It's just one of those games where I personally do not have a read. But I'm going to try and break the trend here. And I would say that if I were to go one way, I'm going to back the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think maybe just 1 week we will see some old school Tom Brady, maybe some Mike Evans, something along those lines. I like this Bengals team, but I don't think they're as good as they've essentially been playing. So, and I think they're due for a close game, and I think the Bucs are due for a close game. So for me, you know, we're going to keep this one short and sweet. If I were to go one way, it would be the Tampa Bay Bucs plus 3.5, but there is absolutely no chance this game will make my card.
Great stuff from Moneyline Matt. And, you know, guys, this is what I love about the cappers over at Sportsmemo. Even if they're not crazy about it, again, they gave you a great breakdown. You did a great breakdown as usual. He said tough game. He said that in the first sentence of his breakdown. He said he has to play it, though. He's going to go Buccaneers. And, Matt, can you do me a favor? Stop referring to me in your analysis, short and sweet. Please, you're embarrassing me. You're making me blush, buddy. Guys, we always like to have a good time on all the shows here on Sportsmemo TV. But bottom line is you're getting amazing content, unrivaled content, tons of free stuff. And these guys are not giving you throwaway games. They're giving you games that a lot of times make their premium plays. They make the premium plays over at Sportsmemo. Sometimes they just miss, but they give you a breakdown, even if they don't like something. I give the guys a lot of credit. It isn't easy to talk about a game you're not crazy about. It's like talking about a girl that broke your heart, you know? All right, guys. Third round table game, then our best bet segment. A big NFC East showdown. Going back to last season, Washington has taken all 3 meetings. But the Giants have covered 2 of the 3, including what? A December 4th overtime game. Yep. We're talking Giants at Commanders Sunday, 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Washington, 4.5 and 40. We're going to go to the chairman of the board, Ross Benjamin. Ross, take it away.
Yeah, these are 2 teams that are just headed down opposite paths, Joe. You know, the Giants overachieved early on, going 6-1 in their first 7 games. But since then, they've come down to earth, 1-4-1 in their last 6. While Washington, who started 1-4, has really come on of late, going 6-1-1 in their last 8 games. That tie came against these very same Giants, and it came 2 weeks ago. And a real oddity in the schedule, Joey, is the fact that Washington played the Giants 2 weeks ago, had a bye last week, and then play the Giants again. I'm not sure that's ever happened in NFL history where teams have faced each other, or a team has faced the same team 2 games in a row in the regular season. I know it's happened in the regular season and then into the playoffs, but I don't know if that's ever happened before in the regular season. Just food for thought. Washington's defense during this 8-game stretch in which they've gone 6-1-1, they're only allowing 16 points per game. In their last 6, they're allowing just a shade under 288 yards per game. The Giants coming off that 48-22 embarrassing loss at home to Philadelphia. So if Giants fans had any illusions, they're going to make a deep run in the playoffs. If they even make the playoffs, I think that was put to rest last week. And this is also a Giants team that's 0-8 straight up on the road off a double-digit loss since 2020, losing by an average of 12.6 points per game. Joey, I'm just going to take the team that's playing better football right now, and that's the Washington Commanders. I see them winning this game by 7 to 10 points. I like Washington here, late a number against the New York Football Giants.
Great stuff from the chairman of the board, Ross Benjamin. He says, go with the Commanders. They're playing better football, plain and simple. Can't get any more plain and simple than that. My good friend Jeff Michaels is going to finish up our third roundtable game. Jeff, Giants, Commanders, Washington 4.5 and 40. Take it away, buddy.
Ross, here's an answer for you. 4th time.
Is that right?
Last year, actually, Cleveland did it against Baltimore.
Interesting.
Before that, twice in 1991.
Yeah.
So
I knew it was an oddity, you know.
Definitely, and that is regular season only. But
yeah,
so I definitely thought it was an interesting one too. But as Ross mentioned, definitely 2 different paths. One thing that definitely caught my attention in those 2 different aspects to the Giants that we've seen this year is Saquon Barkley, to say the least. First 9 games this season, rushed for 50 yards at least every game, rushed for 70 or more yards in 8 out of 9 of those games, and rushed for 100 or more yards in 4 out of 9. In the last 3 games, he hasn't surpassed 70 yards, and he only went over 50 yards once in the last 3 games. So that one he hit like 68 yards, I believe, and couldn't hit that 70-yard marker. So, those could be 2 things that could definitely be correlated, and you got a Washington defense that's playing well. I mean, they have they're 5th in the league. They're holding opposing offenses 33 yards below their season average on the year. They're allowing just 94 rushing yards at home and 91 rushing yards in games against the division. So I don't see Saquon Barkley blowing up for one of those games in this one. I see that kind of trend continuing with him, which makes it difficult for this Giants team to produce. They have covered back-to-back road games against Washington, and they're 4-1 against the spread on the road overall this season, but they're just 2-2 against the division. And this is the 4th game in a row that these Giants are playing as an underdog. So books have definitely been valuing this team differently. I find it hard to back them on the run that they're going. And like I said, I think Saquon Barkley is the lifeline to this offense. And with the numbers that he's putting up, going up against a defense like that of the Commanders, I don't really see a way that the Giants could win this game or really even cover. So I am looking towards Washington in this one too this weekend.
Jeff Michaels. Now you know why he's he's doing so much work on Sportsmemo and Wager Talk TV. Great breakdown as usual, Jeff. Thank you. He says the Commanders. Guys, I'm going to run down all 3 roundtable games, give you all the predictions from our all-star panel. Then we're going to go into our best bet segment. Our first roundtable game, Dolphins at Bills. Moneyline Matt said the Bills by double digits. Ross, the chairman of the board, says Bills by 2 TDs. Great minds think alike. They both agreed on the first roundtable game. Second roundtable game, Bengals at Bucks, Cincinnati 3.5, 45. Jeff said he likes the Bengals. Then the 3.5 doesn't even scare him. That hook does not scare him. Matt said he thinks it's going to be a very tough game, but he's going to lean on the Buccaneers. Our third roundtable game, Giants at Commanders, Washington 4.5 and 40. Great minds think alike again. Chairman of the board, Ross Benjamin, says the Commanders all the way. Jeff said he likes the way the Commanders are playing, especially that Saquon Barkley not producing the last month or so. So, 3 roundtable games down. We have our best bet segment, most exciting portion of the show, guys. I want to start with my friend Moneyline Matt. You know, Matt may look young, and he is young, but I want you to know he hit the ground running 5 or 6 months ago when he came over to Sportsmemo. He's doing some great work. He never looked back once he hit the ground here. And, you know, his reputation preceded him because he did quite a bit of video work for NFL and UFC. But he came over here, and I got to tell you, he took it to another level, and numbers don't lie. He told you 16-2-1 run on his NFL plays off the charts, and he was talking about the one loss from the other night. Man, that shows you the integrity of this guy. I love him. Guys, he's doing some great work over at Sportsmemo. He's going to tell you what he's been doing. He's going to tell you what he's going to be doing, what you can expect from him on the premium side. He's got a free best bet for you. Moneyline Matt, take it away.
Yeah, Joe, thanks for the gassing me up as always. I always greatly appreciate it. I don't think anyone in the world is better at it than you, so I really do appreciate that. And, yeah, it just sucks starting the week off on a Thursday night football loss, but we are ready to bounce back. And, again, this is actually one of my official plays over at Sportsmemo right now, and this is going to be the Minnesota Vikings -2.5 first half against the Indianapolis Colts. All right, the Indianapolis Colts travel on the road to face off against the Minnesota Vikings. And for the Minnesota Vikings, they're coming off of an embarrassing loss on the road to the Detroit Lions, losing 34-23. And I say embarrassing because that was a game where everyone was talking about the Lions. Minnesota knew what they had to do on the road, and they failed to do it. You know, and now they get to try and bounce back against a Colts team that has truly been struggling all season long. And I think this is a really good spot for this Minnesota Vikings team to bounce back. And I think they start off quick, okay? As for the Indianapolis Colts, this is a team that has now lost 3 in a row, recently losing 54-19 at the hands of the Dallas Cowboys. And to me, when I look at this Indianapolis Colts team, I think a lot of it has to do with this offensive line. I think it has to do with this offensive talent. And I just can't see this Colts team keeping up with a team like the Minnesota Vikings. You know, indoor stadium, that's a spot where your stars get to shine, like Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen, guys like that. So I really do expect some of these guys to come out and shine. And lucky for the Minnesota Vikings, too, and I'm taking the first half for this reason, the Colts are one of the worst teams throughout the entire NFL on the road and in the first half. So for one, the Colts are 2-4-1 straight up on the road this season and 2-5 against the spread to go with it. Furthermore, this is a Colts team that is putting up 6.2 points per half, dead last in the NFL in comparison to a Minnesota Vikings team that is putting up 12.2 points per half. Now, this Minnesota team should have honestly a fire lit under their ass. So I think they're going to come out ready to roll. That play action attack is going to be working. And this is also a Minnesota Vikings team that's holding a record 6-1 straight up at home and also a 4-3 record against the spread. Also why I kind of decided to go with that first half and mess around with that -2.5 instead. But again, all in all, I really just think this Minnesota team has far more to play for than this Indianapolis Colts team. I think they would need to make a statement at home. They need to make a statement to their home crowd on top of that. So for me, it's going to be Kirk Cousins. It's going to be Justin Jefferson. It's going to be Dalvin Cook getting it done in the first half, -2.5. And this is an official play for me over at Sportsmemo.
Moneyline Matt giving you an official play, a premium play. Vikings first half -2.5. Matt is one of the brightest minds in sports betting today. He's on a 16-1 NFL run. Don't believe me. Numbers don't lie. Go over to Sportsmemo after the show. Go follow Matt. You're going to follow him to the bank. Guys, I got to tell you, though, Matt, on a personal note, during the roundtable games, you were talking about me being short and sweet. Now you're tooting my horn, complimenting me again. I got to tell you, if I wasn't married, I'd take you up on your proposition. Guys, I love Moneyline Matt. We have a lot of fun here, but the bottom line is he breaks down a game like very few I've ever worked with in the industry, and I've worked with them all over the last 30 years. Great stuff, Matt. Guys, go follow Matt. Best customer appreciation discounts on the planet over at Sportsmemo. Go over, follow him. You're going to follow him to the bank. I'm going to go to the guy I call the chairman of the board. You know, I do a lot of content with Ross Benjamin. Ross is a friend of mine for many years, you know. I always talk about people that can do something. Listen, guys, if a guy bats 300 one year and he bats 240 the next and then 220 the next, Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, there are guys that are called flashes in the pan, guys that can get lucky, guys that have one good year in any sport or any handicapping. You can have a good season, you can have a good year. There are very few that do it year in and year out every year. There are very few that have been around doing that for decades. I could count them on one hand and still have some fingers left over. Ross Benjamin is one of those rare people. He has been winning consistently for decades. And I call him the chairman of the board. And guys, the last chairman of the board was Frank Sinatra. And Ross is the only one that can earn the respect to be the chairman since Frank. I'll tell you that. He is one of the best in the history of this business. I got to tell you, his numbers over at Sports Memo, off the charts. NFL and college basketball. I mean, all the sports he contributes to, he's doing great. But NFL and college basketball, absolutely off the charts. I'm going to tell you now, he's got more accolades than Deshaun Watson has plaintiffs in his lawsuit. I'm going to tell you now, I love this guy. I know you love him too. He's a guy you can rely upon like death and taxes. You can rely on Ross Benjamin. He's going to tell you what he's been doing. He's going to tell you what you can expect from him on the premium side. He's got another free best bet. Ross, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Joey. Your kind words are very much appreciated. And the sentiment's right back at you, my friend. You're one of a kind. There's no two ways about it. I'm going to look at the game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Carolina Panthers. That game's going to take place in Charlotte right now. Carolina's a 3-point favorite. Both of these teams are 5-8, and that's where the similarity ends. Pittsburgh is out of the playoff race completely. They're not going to make the wild card run. They're not going to. They don't have any chance at all. They've been eliminated from the AFC North division race. Carolina, on the other hand, you may be shocked to know they're only one game behind Tampa Bay for the division lead, and they hold the tiebreaker right now because they beat Tampa Bay at home earlier this season. Speaking of which, Carolina's gone 3-0 straight up in ATS in their last three at home. They've won each by double-digit margins. They're coming off a momentum-building win over then 7-5 Seattle, 30-25 last week. So this is a team that's won 3 of their last 4. They've covered all 4, and they're playing good football right now. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, are coming off a 16-14 loss at Baltimore. On top of that, it was actually a home game. On top of that, Pittsburgh on the road this year, they're averaging just 15.2 points per game on the road. That's lethargic. That's anemic. Whatever label you want to give it, it's not good. Carolina, on the other hand, they've rushed for 185 yards or more in 3 of their last 4 games. And I think they're going to be able to run the ball against this Pittsburgh run defense, who's given up 361 yards in their last 2 games on the ground against Atlanta and Baltimore. I like Carolina here. I think the urgency, the momentum, and the desperation, the combination of those 3 puts Carolina over the edge here. They stay in the NFC South race. They have a big game going on with Tampa Bay on New Year's Day, but that game will mean nothing if they don't win here. So I like Carolina here, minus the 3 over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
An icon of the sports betting industry, my good buddy Ross Benjamin, says Carolina all the way over Pittsburgh. You know, guys, the angles and the insights and the analysis that you could pick up from Ross, guys, it is priceless. As a matter of fact, forget about buying his plays. Just pay him tuition because he just schooled you. He lectured you. You're going to get no better than Ross Benjamin. You know what? After the show, sportsmemo.com, follow Ross. Not only will you follow him to the bank, you'll be named the bank president by the time he's done. Great stuff, Ross. I love you, buddy. Guys, my good friend Jeff Michaels, man. You know, I talk about Jeff a lot because we do a lot of content together, and I like to work with Jeff. Not only is he professional and he's great, and he breaks down games in a very unique way, but he's a darn winner. I got to tell you, he's all over the Sports Memo leaderboards. And, you know, what's funny is when you're doing a good job, you're in demand. And he is working more than Steve Harvey, I'll tell you that. He's doing so much content on Sports Memo Wager Talk TV because he's kicking ass and he's taking names. Jeff Michaels is going to tell you what he's been doing. He's going to tell you what you can expect from him on the premium side. He's got another free best bet. And I got to tell you, his best bet analysis are great. Jeff, take it away.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it as always. Guys, you know, what I've been doing over there at Sports Memo is following right behind Moneyline Matt here for the month of December. I mean, we're on an 11-2 NFL run. So we're definitely running hot over the last 2 weeks, number 2 in the month of December. So definitely having some good vibes here and some good runs in the NFL as we look to close out what's the last full month of the regular season at this point. But guys, for Sunday, I'm looking at this New England Patriots team. They're getting a point against Vegas. And this one pains me a little bit because at the beginning of the year, I was looking for Vegas to go over that win total, thought Devontae Adams and Derek Carr was going to work, going to click. But, both teams at this point took a turn last week. Vegas had been on a 3-game winning streak, and they lost to the Rams as a 6-point favorite. And I expect that to kind of regress back to where they were playing at the beginning of the season that kind of let those fans down to start the year. Sorry, Joe, but rough start for Vegas, obviously. And, I thought that 3-game winning streak was going to be what we were going to be seeing for a while. And now it almost seems like a fluke. New England was riding hot. They lost 2 games. They snapped their 2-game losing streak. They beat Arizona on the road in the last one. And I think one of the big factors here is going to be the defense of New England, more specifically the turnovers that they've been able to force. New England's 6th in the league in forcing turnovers, and Vegas has now lost at least 2 turnovers in 3 straight games. You have a Patriots team that has won 6 straight meetings between these 2 teams, and Vegas is just 6-15 against the spread as a favorite over the last 3 years. And get a little TNA for you. How about a home favorite of a touchdown or less off a loss as a favorite? 26-50-2 against the spread since 2017, covering just 34% of the games. So I don't like the line here. I mean, I think New England should be the clear favorite in this one. I do think that the books are putting a little too much into that 3-game winning streak that the Raiders had. And Josh Jacobs is questionable for this game too. So I do think that that's a big one in a team that's relied on their rushing attack to kind of set the pace of that offense. But I don't think it is the end of the world if he does play, because you have a New England team that's 4th in the league. They're holding teams 38 yards below their average. So I like that stat because it does kind of show you a little more comparison regardless of your strength of schedule. It compares it to the opponents that you're playing, not against the opponents of the average league. So they rank 4th in that category, and Derek Carr is just 11-22 against the spread as a favorite. So I like the Patriots in this one.
Great stuff from Jeff Michaels, who said, guys, shoe's going to drop on the Raiders. Too much stock in that 3-game winning streak. The wrong team is favored. Take New England. 11-2 NFL run for Jeff Michaels. But I got to tell you, NFL ain't the only thing he's winning in. Go over to Sportsmemo after the show. Customer appreciation discount. Follow Jeff to the bank. Guys, it's that time. Our producer in the back window is going to say, turn the volume down. Turn it up. We're getting excited. It's not because I took 2 Viagra. I'm going to tell you now, I'm ready. Russ Leslie. I did take 2, guys. No, I'm kidding. Guys, I'm very excited about what's happening, what I'm doing over at Sportsmemo and what I'm going to be doing. I swept the NFL board last week. I'm on an overall 6-1 premium release run this week. I have 2 posted for Saturday. I have my bowl week 1 best bet. I want you to know, of all the bowl games in the first week, guys, I want you to know, I only put up 1 premium play. This is my week 1 best bet. And guys, the best big game hunter on the planet is going to hunt, stalk, and kill the books again with another 5% winner. My NFL AFC East game of the month. Now, they're both posted already for Saturday. Tell you what's going on Friday night, guys. I am crushing it in basketball. I continue to beat the books. I have my 100%. That's right. They're 3-0 this season. Las Vegas strip move overall 54-15 over the last several years. I have my 66% NBA slam dunk play. Those are both posted. All these are posted right now for you at Sportsmemo. And I got to tell you right now, it is Friday. It's about 1:30, 1:40 in the afternoon Pacific Standard Time. I will have several more NFL games posted in the next few hours. You can expect another 5%, maybe even a 10%. You know, my 10% in 2022, 18-3. Now let's talk about my free play tonight. And once again, 2 Viagra, so I'm revved up. Get ready. For my free play this week, let's go to where? Lambeau Field. As the Rams take on the Packers. There's no question that both Los Angeles and Green Bay have fallen way short of expectations this season. I mean, the Rams are just 4-9 following up their Super Bowl season. And in all fairness, guys, a lot of their woes due to injuries. But in all sincerity, a lot of it is due to inconsistency as well. They finally got a win last week, their first win since when? October 16th, as they faced the lowly Raiders. Baker Mayfield, who just joined the team 2 days earlier, rallied his team back from 16-3 to a 17-16 win. The Packers will be a much, much different opponent here this week. First of all, guys, Green Bay has dominated this series. They've won 7 of the last 8 straight up, and all 8 were against the spread. Next, to say that Los Angeles is running on fumes would be an understatement. Their injured list, I want to make that joke again, longer than a Deshaun Watson plaintiff list. It is ridiculous. Don't believe me? Go check it out. There's like 30 guys on that list. It's ridiculous. Looks like an NBA injury list. Guys, they already ranked 25th in passing, 30th in rushing, 29th in points scored. By the way, they also ranked 28th in turnovers. They committed 20 miscues already this season. Green Bay got a big December 4 win over division rival Chicago, 28-19. That will certainly benefit this team. But what I really do think is going to benefit this team is after that win, they had a bye. They had a little time to rest, heal, and prepare, which is huge in the NFL, especially in December, guys. Guys are banged up. Guys are tired. They had an extra week to rest, heal, and prepare. Rookie wide receiver Christian Watson. In him, Aaron Rodgers finally has a go-to receiver to complement wideout Alan Lazard. On the ground, the Packers are pretty stable. You can't argue that. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, they've combined for just short of 1,500 yards, 5 TDs. The offense is now well-balanced and will certainly exploit the depleted LA defense. It's true the Packers have lost 3 straight as a home favorite this season, but in all sincerity, 2 of those were earlier on and before Rodgers started connecting with Watson. Throw into the mix that their biggest defensive threat for LA, Aaron Donald, is unlikely. Check status, do your due diligence. As of the show, he's unlikely to play. Guys, I'm going to tell you, with all that, throw that all in a pot, mix it like gumbo. That tells me Green Bay is going to light up the scoreboard. I believe that. The Rams, 1-4 ATS. The last 5 games played following a straight-up win. 1-3-1 ATS, the last 5 games played versus NFC opponents. I see the Packers making a push late in the season, but it all starts here. Lay the TD with Green Bay, guys, and take your bookmakers' money. Sports fans, let me bring this good-looking panel back. Guys, it is Friday. It is the last show of the Sportsmemo TV week. It is a week before Christmas. I'd like to get some closing thoughts and comments from each of our panelists. Then we're going to head on out of here, guys, because you have enough time to get all these free winners in and enough time to go over to Sports Memo, take advantage of the best customer appreciation discounts on the planet, and follow Jeff, Matt, Russ, and Joey D. Jeff Michaels, closing thoughts and comments for our viewers.
You know, Jesse, your closing thought is for you. If you find that card, let me know, because that might be the only way that Sports Memo can make us any more money with this staff, right? So looking forward to some Saturday NFL, guys, and best of luck to everybody this weekend. And it's been a pleasure being here for the first time. So thanks, guys.
Jeff, it's always a pleasure. Thank you. Moneyline Matt, closing thoughts and comments for all our viewers out there, please.
Yeah, guys, just want to say it's great being here every Friday, with Joe, Jeff, Ross, some of the best handicappers across the United States. If you can't find something in me, there are plenty of handicappers across Sports Memo and Wager Talk that you can go and check out that will be just for you. And again, we put on free picks and plays every single day so you can get a feel for us, kind of what our handicapping style is like. And guys, it's, Christmas holidays right around the corner. We're doing everything we can to put a little bit of extra money in your pocket so you can go and get those presents, hook all your friends and families up. We love you guys. We greatly appreciate you tuning in each and every week. This show would be nothing without you guys. So again, greatly appreciate it. And I always love being here, guys.
Gotta love Moneyline Matt. Chairman of the board, closing thoughts and comments.
Well, it's nice to work with a couple of young guys that reinvigorate me, because excellent job, guys. I was really impressed with your breakdowns on your games. I mean that with all sincerity. Just a friendly reminder, folks, number 5 in the NFL this season at sportsmemo.com. Number 2 right now in college basketball. As a matter of fact, since November 17th on a 22-13 run in college basketball, good for 63%. My NFL 5-star and 10-star plays are on a 13-4 run. So a lot of money to be made. I'll have 2 NFL picks up for tomorrow. I do have them up, I should say, in the Cleveland and Baltimore game, as well as it slips my mind right now. Who is the 1 o'clock game? Minnesota and Indy. and also a 5-star top play, my first of the year in the bowl season, and that will come tomorrow afternoon. So, again, folks, a lot of money to be made. Joey, always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you for having me, and I appreciate you guys as well, Matt and Jeff.
Always a gentleman, Ross Benjamin. My friends, don't forget to tune into all of Sportsmemo TV's amazing content. Hit that subscribe button to get a reminder. You don't want to miss any of our amazing Cappers free winners or betting insights. Thank you for tuning in, folks. Remember, increase your chances of making a profit. Follow the best collection of Cappers anywhere on the planet right here at Sportsmemo, because we don't go gambling, we go winning. On behalf of Sportsmemo, Jeff, Ross, Matt, and myself, Joey D, everyone out there, good luck and have a winning day.